Hey, I'm Ogre from Skinny Puppy and Ogre.
So, Devils in My Details is the first Ogre album without any weird spellings or capitalizations or anything like that. Is there any significance to that, or?
No, I kind of went with a lot of the working titles in a way, so I just kind of stayed away from that. And, I don't know. I think that those titles happened quite kind of just as the rest of the album did, happen kind of naturally. So a lot of the working titles stayed the same.
Okay.
Yeah, I just didn't really put much emphasis into finding those little hidden cryptic meanings to things and what it is. I think it was meant to be kind of a voyage. So I think that I think people kind of probably have a tolerance for that too, to a certain degree. So
the cover art is a definite departure from the cover art of the previous albums. What made you decide to go with a more simplistic black and white cover this time?
Well, Stephen had always wanted to do something that was more of a brand in a way, and we wanted to do something that was kind of it is kind of a black album for me in a lot of ways. It's an album that I really worked through a lot of extreme issues based on a certain experience I had, and that was kind of life-changing for me. So I think the simplicity of the Devils in My Deals, it became kind of a filigree symbol of something that was a very detailed yet simple kind of elegant, simple thing on a cover. And obviously we're looking for something that would be appealing and yet kind of have I guess there's a lot of layers to it. It's not that simple of a cover, but there's certain things in the filigree that people may not see, and so. But yeah, I mean, it's just a black cover with something very simple. We wanted to do something very simple as opposed to a lot of the layering that he's done before.
Right. Okay. Now here we should be expecting 2 more albums come up here in the somewhat near future. One of D-sides and one of material from the early 90s. When can we expect to see some of that coming out?
As soon as we're done. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, there's no real schedule. I don't live in that kind of timeline world.
Right.
I mean, I'd love to have a definitive date, but we're gonna probably release it on vinyl first, and then see where it goes from that, and just do it within our own website and manufacture ourselves, because SPV manufactured Devils in My Details on vinyl, and they did a pretty good job. But I think we could manufacture them a bit better, and just as far as cardstock goes and the covers, and so once we get done with that, we're gonna, I think, release it on vinyl on the website first, and then release it on a digital format afterwards and stuff. But I don't really have a timeline. I mean, we're like going through it right now. Mark's working with another singer right now. We're doing this, and then I have to kind of like dig into Skinny Puppy. But I think we're gonna have time to do it before then, and try and have it done within the early new year, hopefully.
You've said that Devils was mastered for Dynamics, yet it is sold on iTunes and Amazon MP3. As any audiophile knows, MP3s are compressed as far as dynamics go. So,
what I mean by we mastered it for dynamics is we didn't put a lot of compression in the mastering process.
Right.
So you have to turn it up louder. That's all it really means. When you turn it up, you hear more dynamics in the music, whether it's MP3 or not, and then you're going to hear more dynamics.
Gotcha.
But on vinyl, especially, you're going to hear more dynamics on it.
Okay. Around the time that the album came out, Repo came out as well, which you had a part in. Now I know you had tried out for The Crow and had a really small part in Gene Generation. Did those things...
Doom Generation.
Was it Doom?
Gene Co. is the company in Repo. Gene Generation would be Doom Generation, which is a Greg Araki movie. Yeah, we did a small part in that, definitely.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I'm going to correct all the mistakes, too.
That's fine, because I read that in another interview or something.
That it was Gene Generation?
Yeah.
Wow. Sounds like a Levi's ad. But yeah, Doom Generation.
It's
Greg
got a cool
Araki.
soundtrack for that.
What's the Greg Araki film?
Oh,
Doom Generation?
Gene Generation.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah. It's got a really good Combi Christ song on it.
Okay, Gene Generation. Rules! Combi Christ, rules!
But you were not in that movie at all.
Gene Generation, no. Not Gene Generation.
Okay, so you're in Doom Generation with one line then.
One line.
Okay. Did those experiences have an effect on the decision to get further into acting with Repo?
I mean, I've always been interested in doing things. I mean, dream of mine has been to do things under makeup, and to be, kind of enveloped in a character in that kind of way. So it's a really kind of unique experience and a great transition for me to do repo or even be involved in repo, because it was something that was, as far as we're talking about talking and that whole thing, I think for me it would have been a lot more difficult if I was delivering lines, as opposed to the way it was done. We recorded everything beforehand, then went up to Toronto, and so it was more of an acting thing for me. It became more of a theatrical acting thing for me, which was an interesting transition, because I could spend time learning how to be on a set, how to do blocking correctly, how to really kind of all those things that I really had no experience in. So I didn't have to worry about actually delivering lines, which probably would have complicated things for me at that point. And now I'm kind of more ready to do something like that. But the biggest kick for me was doing something under makeup, and I've always wanted to be under prosthetics. And the idea of doing a narcissistic serial killer rapist was like, yeah, sign me up. That sings in falsetto. So I was like, totally into it.